I've always thought seeing the number of dislikes on a video helps us know as viewers if it's a good video or not, if it's a helpful tutorial or not, or if what a creator is saying in their video is generally agreed with or not. But unfortunately, research teams at YouTube have found there's this whole other use for disliking a video that I had never experienced as a creator, and you may not have either.
So YouTube announced that it decided to finally get rid of the dislike button, which, if you ask me, I like dislikes. It shows that you were thinking about me. Ironically, YouTube decided to pull one of the most disliked stunts in recent history and get rid of the dislike button. And when I'm saying that this is one of the most disliked stunts, I mean it very, very literally. Everybody, including the co-founder, has updated his description just to inform the rest of us that this is not liked. This is not appreciated. Now, they released some video footage and some Twitter replies just to make it very, very clear that this is for the creators. We care about the mentals for us, the creators. We just cannot deal with all the bullying and hate and harassment we're getting on this website that we choose to engage in and upload in, that we have the option of disabling comments and disabling the dislike ratios. Oh, what will we ever do? The struggle has never been more real. Okay, tears aside. Despite this being an objectively bad move to pull, YouTube is sticking by its guns at this point of recording this video. However, some contrarians and knight in one shining armor types are coming to the front to present their cases as to why this is a fantastic stunt. And I'll be going over their arguments, and I will be naming, shaming, mocking and laughing at them because this shit is funny as all hell. However, could you be in favor of such a bad idea? Okay, before we get into it, don't send them any hate, harassment or bullying. Yes, I know that you can't because, you know, the dislike issue at hand. However, we still try to keep things funky, clean and fresh over here. So again, none of the above. Don't do it. It doesn't look good.
You know, with what I teach guys on this channel, I talk about mental resilience and, you know, trying to just be a virtuous man, trying to be a strong man, right? And so I try to embody that myself. Of course, it bothers you. You'd rather have more likes than dislikes, but it doesn't like ruin my day or anything. But what does ruin my day is the fact that this, you know, all these dislike bombs, because in order to do that, you need to have an account where you actually watch the video, right? And then they just click off, and then that destroys my watch time. It absolutely tanks it. And that definitely does affect the YouTube algorithm, and it affects my reach. So that's reason number one, that the dislike bombing is terrible for small content creators, especially when you create more controversial content. I mean, the things I talk about here are really controversial.
One thing that you will see throughout these criticisms is that everybody that I'm speaking about, or everybody who's making an argument in favor of the dislikes, have had some experience with dislike bombing. So I'm going to pretend, for the most part, that it's not their feels, they're not their fifis that got hurt in the process, but their actual logical arguments, and them only bringing up their dislike bombing as a case study to make an argument or to prove a point. I'm gonna pretend like they are not butthurt at all and they are simply giving valid criticism. So the first person that I want to be speaking about is Kevin Ray Wilder. Okay, so his argument here is that the dislike bombing that he's experiencing is affecting his watch time, which means that people don't watch the whole video, and therefore them dislike bombing and then dipping right before the video even starts is sending signals out to YouTube that this is a terrible video, and therefore he actually loses relevancy in the algorithm. Now, this is actually not true. Disliking and leaving comments, whether hateful, nice or whatever, does actually increase engagement, which means it signals to YouTube that people are interacting with the content, i.e. it should be sent out even more. So what he's saying here is actually incorrect. It's just not a point at all.
When somebody dislikes your video, like when you go into a video and you see that there's a bunch of dislikes, and you've never heard of the channel, like let's be honest, what's the first thought that comes to your mind? Oh, this guy's either full of shit or this video is terrible, right? Like if I'm looking up something like, I don't know, how to do a good camera setup for YouTube, and then I click the video, the first one that pops up, and I see that it has more dislikes than likes, I'm automatically going to assume that the dude gives terrible advice, and I'll just click off, right? So the dislike button actually does have some utility in that from that standpoint.
Well, yes, of course. That's what it means. So let's just make a distinction here between watching a video about a product review or a how-to versus some type of commentary, advice, or lifestyle type of content. I'm pretty sure most of us can distinguish between how to fix my vibrator versus the meaning of live, laugh, laugh, you know? So, okay, if somebody is getting dislike bombed and their content is mainly commentary or advice or something lifestyle based, then yes, I will assume that it's because their advice is bad. You're correct, that would be my take. However, where can you please show me, just, you know, name and shame or name and glorify, whenever can we find somebody who gives really good advice that is getting a majority of dislikes? I've literally never seen that before. Sure, everybody, you know, gets hate or whatever, but if there's somebody who gives objectively good advice, can you please give us some receipts? Because if you are the only example that you can think of in this case, then my dude, it literally might just be you. Like, it might just be you, because yeah, I've never seen this. Even insane people who believe the craziest kinds of things, even they don't get ratio to hell and back on every single video. So I mean, there really is an audience for everybody. So the onus would be on you to prove that if your advice is actually good and well researched and, you know, objectively true, then you should be able to send us in that direction. There's no way this is literally only happening to you. I mean, you can't be like a snowflake in that sense, right?
And I think that's a good step in the right direction, because I've said this loads of times before. There's so many things on YouTube that damages the mental health of us content creators. Maybe it's too late for me now, because my enjoyment of making YouTube videos has already kind of been sucked dry a while ago, mainly because of the huge amount of dislikes I get on every single one of my videos and all my live streams. I get hundreds of dislikes on everything I make, even though it's been like 2 years since I've even done anything that's considered to be bad.
So hiding in my room is probably the most degenerate creator on this list that I'm going to be discussing here. He's been referred to as the Asian Onision, just to give you some example. So there might be a reason why he's getting disliked other than targeted harassment. There is an actual chance that people might just not like this creator. If you are struggling to get what I'm saying here, then here are some thumbnails as an example. Yeah, I think he's actually disliked unironically, and I don't think necessarily that people are being sent to hate him. I'm not saying that it's not possible. I'm just saying that I can imagine that there are reasons why people dislike him.
Kind of weird to think about it, because if you look at other platforms like Twitch, Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, or any other kind of video streaming service, they don't have these stupid things like like button, dislike button. Even Instagram has no dislike button. There's no dislike button on Twitter. Why does YouTube feel the need that they had to have a dislike button for such a long time? All it does is encourage hate mob mentality and toxic behavior, and encourages toxic people to just kind of like jump on someone who...
Okay, so his argument here is very clear. It is that we do not need a dislike button because all these other thriving platforms do not have a dislike button and they're, you know, thriving. However, if you actually look at the top topics being covered under these various platforms, you'll see that with YouTube, the top interest on YouTube is delivering commentary, i.e. give criticisms, you know, give takes, good and or bad. If you look at Instagram, for example, no, not the case. If you look at Twitch, for example, also not the case. And if you consider something like Twitter, where it very much is the case, where people do get ratioed all the time, well, haha, people figured it out. We quote tweet and we ratio the fuck out of you. That's how we show dislikes in Twitterverse. So the idea of a commentary space being filled with criticism is kind of the objective here. That's the problem. We need to dislike things so that we as an audience can engage with the content in a manner that gives it validity, credibility and reliability, and so that we can show disdain for content who does not meet that minimum requirement. Or so that we can tell a creator, this new thing you did here, ain't fresh, we're not here for it, sorry, bye, unsub.
But honestly, as a YouTuber, not really all that upset about this change. The dislike bar is still going to have the desired function of, you know, you say you don't like this video and YouTube's not going to show you more of that content. Though it does still count as engagement for the creator. But meanwhile, it disincentivizes people from, like, mass disliking videos. If you go to, like, a lot of my videos on my channel that have been, like, mass disliked.
Okay, this is probably one of the worst takes, like, at all in this discussion. I mean, I would love to ask Xanderhole that if now, after, you know, his dislikes and shit gone and removed and stuff, does he truly and honestly, wholeheartedly believe that bullying is now going to stop? Was this the one thing, the final hope, the last straw? Did YouTube actually beat bullying? Is that what he means? Look, if people are not incentivized to leave dislikes in order to bully people, they will come up with new, fresh and exciting ways. People will just comment the word dislike or use me as a dislike button. There are ways and means to it if you really want to do it. And if bullying was this important, like the main thing that was going to keep you back from living your best life, then you've literally always had the option of disabling your like to dislike ratio. You've also had the option to filter certain comments or just, you know, delete comments as a whole. There is no way that this is going to be the end of bullying. There's no way. And the thing is also sometimes you just objectively have a bad take and people just, like, disagree with you. I mean, it's okay. If you believe what you're saying, then who cares if 90% of people disagree with you? Because you know that you're right for you, you know, and that should be it. I don't think he's saying anything here. I think he was just salty about being disliked, if I'm completely honest.
New. It's not earth-shattering. You've got reactionaries just screaming about it because one of the biggest things they like to do is send their fans to mass dislike videos of creators they don't like. Yeah, they're still going to be able to go into the comments and leave hate comments, you know? They can still do that.
Holy shit, what a fucking self-report. Okay, so there's zero solutions, only problems. Okay, listen. Besides what you just said there as both a solution and a problem to your own fucking questions, besides that, why don't we just name and shame?
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Why can't you just come out and say, hey, these are the people, these are the creators who tell their audience to go out and bully and harass other people? Why can't we do that instead? Instead of speaking in this hypothetical, this boogeyman under the bed who keeps on bullying poor little Xanderhole, instead of that, why not, you know, expose these people? We are in the commentary community, all of us. We might as well say that these are the names of the people sending targeted harassment in my direction so that the whole community is aware of them and can distance themselves. That would be far more effective. You know, literally make them uncool, since you claim that their dislike campaigns is what is cool amongst the community. Let's end it. Let's actually do something about this problem.
So for me, like, it's a double-edged sword, and here's why I say that, okay? As you guys know, if you're a fan of mine, maybe you're not a hardcore fan of mine, you're just coming by today to see GTA, I've been a victim of online harassment for many years. It's been pretty commonplace since the early days of This Is How You Don't Play, which started around 2012, okay, that people have made me like the whipping boy of YouTube. They take things I say out of context, they make up ridiculous conspiracy theories about me, and they just basically put out slanderous, defamatory videos about me constantly on YouTube. Because of this, there is now a hate mob that literally does everything they possibly can to ruin myself and my business. And one of the active things that they've absolutely done over the years is they've come to DSP Gaming and thumbed down every single video I've ever put out from the last, like, 7-8 years. This is not exaggeration. Let's actually talk about likes and dislikes on YouTube and what they do and what they don't do. When you see a video with a ton of likes, you assume it's good. You assume the content in that video is good, right? Might not be true, but you assume when you see a video with a ton of likes, that video is great. When you see a video with a ton of dislikes, you're probably, whoa, that's kind of skeptical. Like, this was supposed to be a video about a game, or it was supposed to be a video about how to do something. Maybe it's a tutorial video or something. Why does it have so many dislikes? It makes you skeptical to think if the quality of that video is any good or not, right?
Okay, DSP decided to go on an entire tangent because, oh, the struggles of being him. You'll never understand the drama, the pain, the struggle. Oh, it's just too much. Okay, Basically what he's saying is that in his ideal fantasy world, he would love it that if people can come to his channel and discover his content and recognize that it's fucking amazing, even though he does little to no editing in it.
Yes, my playthroughs may not be the most high quality, edited, polished, but they're really entertaining.
And he would love us to just see that and not see that there are people who are like so obsessed with him that they just like actively choose to dislike every single thing he's ever done
Because of this hate mob, okay? And it's just funny because there's nothing you can do once you have the ire of the internet like that, okay? There's not much you can do about it.
And he would like to essentially remove his entire past from the internet and make it so that everybody who's new to his content will absolutely just fall in love with it because he knows it's good, he knows it's entertaining, and we're all just wrong. Duh. Okay. I want to say that this is an argument, but it's more of a pity party, so let's explore. So if we were to make an argument out of all of this, then I guess you could make the case, or then I guess his point would be that if we see a massive ratio as an audience and we don't know shit about this human that we're watching, if we just see this ratio, then we'll immediately have these preconceived notions about this person being terrible and then just decide not to watch their content. However, that would mean that every single time, again, not with regards to product reviews and how-to videos, but with regards to lifestyle or commentary content or something like that, lol cow type of stuff, if we engage with that kind of content and we see a general, like a massive amount of ratio, then usually if his logic panned out, we would see that those kinds of videos do not get a lot of watch time. They don't get people, and you know, the creators would be unsuccessful and would have to eventually move on to better, greater things because YouTube just will not work out for them. However, that's not true. You can have 100% like ratio on your videos and have like 2 people watching your videos. And then also you could have like a 98% dislike ratio and then still get all the views because people do hate watch. So I think, yeah, hate watch will happen as the one thing. And the other thing is that like the internet is forever, my dude. I'm sorry, if you messed up your reputation online, then you literally have the option of, you know, not being online. That is still always an option. But if you choose the path of lolcow and that is just your identity and that's who you are.
Today, I can't stop burping right now. Excuse me, I can't even get to the point because I'm so gaseous. It's disgusting.
Then you can always just like lean into the meme and accept that dislikes is just now a part of your identity and people just hate you. And the thing is that the internet doesn't owe you a comfort zone at all. It doesn't. It does owe you the option of, you know, opting out and leaving, which it literally always does. Like you literally have the option of going away. But if you choose to stay, then unfortunately you are responsible for every single thing that you've ever said and done on this website. And the internet is not going to forget or forgive you, specifically if it was really horrendous or heinous things that you did and that you're known for. And the thing is that you are not liked. You do things that are funny, but yeah, I mean, look, it is what it is. Okay, so if I had to reevaluate what I just went through with all these whiny little bitches on the internet, it sounds like most of them are just having a tough time on the internet.
I feel like I live in a constant state of like criticism where I do something to entertain people and then there's always negativity that comes back. So it's like you put something out, negativity comes back. Like positivity comes back too, but all I can think about is like...
And look, I'm not saying that targeted harassment does not happen. It does. And I think being a target must genuinely suck. So I'm thinking, let's try to solve this problem or address it directly instead of trying to hide an essential feature that all creators can benefit from. You know, as the examples of the how-to and the product reviews and stuff like that. And, you know, let's try and focus on how we can address the problem of bullying and harassment directly so that, you know, we don't have to jump through more hoops in order to do it. And my big problem with the dislike ratio, as a metaphor, I'm going to be referring to crime displacement. So basically what crime displacement would refer to in real life is, let's say for example, in your house, there's constantly somebody breaking in and robbing you and just stealing all your shit. And you get like fucked up tired of this nonsense. So you decide to install some security. You know, you up your game, there's just alarms everywhere, fencing, locks, whatever your thing is. You install security. Okay, so then, you know, these criminals and robbers realize that you have now upped your security, so they decide not to rob your house anymore. Now, the question would be, did you actually solve crime? Did you end all criminal activity? Or did you merely send those robbers to your neighbor instead? Did you, in fact, not just displace this crime? So then the question would be, or the problem here for me would be, that if people want to bully you and they now have lost all access to the dislike button in order to bully you, do you think that you have ended bullying on this website, or do you think they're going to find new, innovative, fun and exciting ways to bully you instead? In Twitter, we see this all the time with ratios and this new thing of, you know, comment if you dislike me. So, okay, let's say you filter your comments, you change that. Do you think reaction videos are going to stop? Do you think that people are not going to make funny edits about you? Do you think people are not going to resort to different platforms, re-uploading your content, mirroring it, disliking it on Reddit forums? Do you think that you've solved bullying? No, of fucking course you didn't. Nothing was done here. This is just crime displacement, in my opinion, or bullying displacement, I guess. So why don't we, you know, get together, come together and figure out how we can address bullying and harassment on this website, instead of being pedantic about a fucking little button who's not gonna do shit to no one. So in terms of a solution, I can't give you something concrete because I'm not at the back end of YouTube. I'm not entirely sure how this thing goes, what flows and what does not. But what I will say is that I am truly in favor of the public platform being utilized to criticize people, i.e. name and motherfucking shame.
Shit. Okay.
I have to interrupt you because you're gonna fucking scream and quack.
Go for it.
Before
Go
I
for
can
it.
even say anything.
Go for it. Respond then.
So what I mean by this is, if you experience targeted hate harassment, that kind of ordeal, like, speak up, make the community aware, let us know. We should be informed, we should be helping each other in this sense. In the same way, when a false copyright strike comes out, usually the community kind of makes a big ass uproar about it, and that person, usually it does not go well for them, does it? No, so let's just do the same thing with actual bullying and harassment. And the thing is at that point, if the community doesn't back you and you've made a significant amount of uproar, maybe then just maybe you're not this victim that you imagine yourself to be. Maybe it's a you problem, you know? That's how we can kind of sift through it all. But other than that, I genuinely think that we have had a good grasp on this idea of targeted harassment. I mean, there are exceptions. There are people that I know have been botted. That is kind of a process where they are so disliked by one or two parties that these parties would actually invest actual money into mass disliking all their videos so that it shows that it's a poorly researched video despite whatever it is. So these kinds of bots do happen, right? And I would obviously want YouTube to spend time and resources to working with creators to solve those kinds of issues directly for the parties involved in the situation. I mean, on YouTube's end as well as the creator studio end, you would be able to tell that something is an actual attack versus just a video that is disliked. You should be able to tell, and YouTube should work directly with people to solve that. Getting rid of the dislike button as a feature is not addressing that problem. That's just saying, okay, well, your foot is broken, let's just shoot the person, and then the foot is no longer a problem, you know? So it's not solving things here. This is willful ignorance to the main issues at hand. And the sheer laziness of addressing these issues is resulting in this mass cancellation of the dislike button. And you know what? I just cannot stand such tomfoolery on this day. Anyway, I'm just a thought with an opinion, and I just don't know shit about fuck. Peace.